Hello, I'm Dave and this is FIVER, out once again for a walk in the countryside. Thanks for joining us. Now today we're at the village of Bourton in Dorset, but only just. It's on the border with Somerset and Wiltshire. It's about 9 miles northwest of Shaftesbury and 4 miles east of Wincanton. And we're going to be walking a roughly 4.5 mile circular route. Starting on the eastern side of the village, we'll head north past the site of Bullpits Mill, following the course of the River Stour up to White Cross, then west through woodland at Bottles Hill to Pen Selwood, and then back to Bourton. I expect we'll see plenty of interesting things along the way. Now, regular viewers will probably be wondering where my normal companion Logan is today. Well, we were both out on a very long walk yesterday, and he's at home resting on the sofa, which means today I've got a special guest, FIVER. And I'm filming, well, it's Midsummer's Day, and it looks as though it's going to be a glorious one. The sun's out, there's blue sky, should be perfect conditions for a walk. Do join us. Well, I've parked my car opposite the White Lion pub in Bourton, which is going to be where we're starting the walk. Speaking of the pub, it's just behind me here. And there it is in the morning sunshine, the White Lion Inn, and it originates from 1712 according to their website, although British listed buildings has it at 1723. Originally it was 3 cottages in front and 1 behind, and it's known locally as the Bush. I'm not sure why, although I see the cottage next door is called Bush Cottage. Possibly might be the most northern pub in Dorset, not sure. And it shows as a beer house on a 1901 map, and it's on a road just off the old A303 London to Exeter road. That was before the bypass of the new A303 to the south opened in 1992. And I expect the White Lion will be our final destination. Okay, we're going to kick out into the countryside, heading westwards across some fields. Interesting, the name Bourton sort of comes from, well, Burton, fortified farmstead. Amazingly, today I think we'll be going through 3 different counties. Well, after crossing some fields, we've just got across this little road. I think this is where there used to be a golf course, Bullpits Golf Course, that was opened in 1986, although I did see one source say 1991. And it was a 3,362 yard, 60 par, 18 hole short course. Only covered 25 acres, but I believe it closed in 2022 when the new owners no longer wanted to run it as a golf course. Well, I'm just following a public footpath that goes along the side of a field where the golf course used to be, and I see there's a stone stuck up in the middle out there. Now I wonder if that's Egbert stone, which used to be down closer to the River Stour. It was put roughly where the 3 counties meet up, I think possibly by the lake near the mill, which we'll see later. Anyway, King Egbert of Wessex put a stone here or close to here to settle a dispute about the shire boundaries. I did read that the stone fell into the River Stour at one stage and then was rescued. I say, well, it's actually on private land, so I shall have to take a zoom photo of it. Well, just a little update on the route. We just joined a lovely little shady lane. It's just what the doctor ordered on a warm day like today. It's called Bullpits Mill Lane. And I believe we've joined a little section of the Monarch's Way, which is that 625 mile long distance path that represents the escape route of Charles II after his defeat at the Battle of Worcester in 1651. and it goes from Worcester to Bristol to Yeovil and then Shoreham. We're just coming into a little place called Pen Selwood, and this is our first sighting today of the River Stour. Of course, its source is less than a couple of miles away at Stour Head. Of course, Logan and I have been there. And it flows for 61 miles south through Dorset. It's Dorset's longest river and flows out to sea at Christchurch Harbour. Well, this magnificent building here is the old mill house. And well, there's a record of a mill here in 1086. And a corn mill was mentioned in 1586 and 1618. And I believe it was used for producing textiles right up until the 1880s. Then it became a corn mill until it closed around about 1902. A 1901 map shows a mill pond round here, but it looks as though it's been filled in. Beautiful row of cottages with roses outside, and I love the little face up on the wall there. They've got a great view here as well. We've just walked across this field. There were horses in it, so I couldn't take any footage, but a lovely meadow. And a little pit stop for a view. Isn't that quite stunning? And I think somewhere down there is the River Stour. I'm guessing over by those trees to the right. I'm not that sure. But everything looks so fresh and green still. Of course, we had so much rain earlier on in the spring. Well, I'm not sure FIVER's quite the water baby that Logan is, but at least he can drink some fresh water from this stream. I don't think you're going to have a paddle though, are you? Is that good? He says, yeah, just what I needed. Another superb view. I think this is looking up Combe Bottom, and just on the right where those trees are is well, the site of what was a Motte and Bailey castle. I don't think we're going to be able to get that close to it, and it's situated, as you can see, on a steep ridge. It was a circular motte of about 55 metres in diameter, surrounded by a ditch with a western bailey about 64 metres long, 25 metres wide, as well as an outer bailey at a much lower level to the north, which was about 81 metres long and 77 metres wide. It was all excavated between 1879 and 1880, and they found Norman and medieval pottery, so it probably dates from 11th century or perhaps the 12th century. I think I've totally lost track as to which county I'm in. I know we started off in Dorset, and I think I'm presently in Somerset. I'm just about to go into Wiltshire. A little way marker that tells us that we're on the Stour Valley Way, which, well, pretty much follows the course of the River Stour. And we've done a few sections of that in our travels. Well, one great thing about this walk is that there's loads of little shaded paths through woods, which is perfect on a warm day. And plenty of opportunity for FIVER to keep an eye out for those pesky squirrels. Oh, getting brave now. Up to, oh, well over your feet. Oh, I tell you, the weather is quite glorious now. So we're still heading northwards, and our next destination is a place called White Cross. And looks like we've got a little uphill section. Gosh, look at the view that this house has got. What's it called? Woodlawn House. Imagine looking out over onto that view every day. Beautiful. God, there's so many quite enchanting houses and cottages around here. Look at this one here. Gorgeous. Well, a little update on the route. We're now heading westwards. We're meeting up with the River Stour once again. Doesn't it look quite alluring with the reflections of the sun on the water there? So we're shortly going to go through some wood. I think it's called, well, it'll be up to Bottles Hill, and I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for some ancient pits. I'm currently making my way uphill towards Bottle Hill, which is at the sort of top end of Pen Selwood. Pen means, well, hill, and Selwood, sort of forest area. And in these woods there are hundreds of ancient pits. And on an old map they're called pen pits. It's where wet stone quarrying took place way back from the Roman period. Quern or millstones from the pits were used for grinding flour or sharpening knives. And basically mining shafts were sunk down to strata of stone, and then further shafts radiating outwards. Most of the pits were destroyed and filled in to make further use of land, but apparently you can still make out a few today. Another little update on the route. We've come off Bottles Hill through a lovely bit of woodland, and we're now at a place called Pear Ash Farm, named after a tree that was here back in 1619. And I think we're back in Somerset now. Anyway, from here we now start heading in a different direction, southwards. Well, just as I'm heading southwards down this little road, over to my right is a place called Penselwood, and it's where King Edmund Ironside, King of the English, fought a Danish army around here in 1016. And the area is also usually identified as the site where King Kenwell or Senwell, King of Wessex, was victorious in a battle with the Britons in AD 658. I'm certainly getting some cracking views as I'm heading along this little minor road. Lovely meadow here that was cut for hay quite a few weeks ago by the looks of things. Well, we're now very much on the homeward leg. We've just come through a lovely meadow and now going to start heading eastwards back to the village along an old ancient track, Long Lane, and also onto Kite's Nest Lane. And it was apparently an original pack horse route before coach and horses were common. And just as we come into the village at the bottom of Kite's Nest Lane, we've got this very impressive set of wheels, and this is the site of the Bourton Mill Foundry. There was a mill mentioned in the Domesday Book, and it was involved in the processing of flax into linen right up until the 1880s. And then in 1837 a huge water wheel, the second largest in Britain at a 60-foot diameter, was built. In 1838 a foundry was then built alongside it with 2 further water wheels. But the linen industry declined and the foundry became the main business, and eventually the works were powered by steam. In the First World War the site became a munitions factory, making, amongst other things, Mills bombs, which is a sort of type of hand grenade. The foundry ceased to operate in the late 1920s, and the premises then became a processing plant for milk products for various owners, including United Dairies, right up to the end of the 20th century. But by 2010 the factory was derelict. It's been demolished, and now there are residential buildings here. And the entrance that you can see in front of me here has got these 2 magnificent iron wheels that are from a Warwickshire coal mine, but the actual wheels were made here at the old foundry. And here we are back at the White Lion Inn, our starting point, and it's open, so shall we pop in, just for research purposes for the video, of course. Well folks, here we are in the beer garden of the White Lion, just quality testing their otter. Very nice too. Now I have got some Piper's Crisp, but Fiver's not a great crisp lover, so he's got his treats instead. Well, we hope you enjoyed the walk today. If you did, please do give us a thumbs up and a like, and do leave a comment, and do check out our Facebook page, Dave's Countryside Walks. So until we meet again, thanks for watching, and cheerio. You've been a good boy today.